The call came on an ordinary Wednesday afternoon. My colleague Marcus had been gone for 3 days when his lawyer contacted me about his daughter Emma, who was 13. We'd worked together for years, shared occasional drinks after work, complained about deadlines. But I never imagined he'd list me as her guardian. I barely knew how to take care of myself. Emma arrived at my place on a gray Saturday morning. She stood in my doorway, clutching a worn duffel bag, staring at her shoes like they held all the answers. Those first 4 weeks were suffocating silence. She moved through my apartment like a ghost, and I had no idea how to reach her. I was just a database administrator who liked predictable patterns and solitude. Kids were never part of my equation. I fumbled through those early days desperately. Bought her favorite foods, ordered books I thought teenagers might enjoy, set up a desk in a spare room with new supplies. Everything felt forced and hollow. The wall between us seemed impenetrable until one night around 3 in the morning when I heard soft crying through the thin walls. I found Emma sitting cross-legged on her bed, clutching a battered photo album, tears streaming silently down her face. I didn't have words, so I just lowered myself onto the floor beside her bed and stayed there until dawn broke. Something shifted that night, barely noticeable but real. Her first week at the new school ended with a phone call I'll never forget. Emma had a complete breakdown in the hallway, hyperventilating, unable to breathe. The counselor's voice was gentle but urgent. I left work mid-meeting and didn't go back for 3 weeks. Instead, I parked outside at school every single day, visible through the front windows, so Emma wouldn't know someone was waiting. My supervisor mentioned the promotion I was being passed over for. I surprised myself by not feeling anything about it. When Emma's 14th birthday approached, I planned what I thought was a thoughtful celebration. Small, quiet, just us. But when she saw the cake and wrapped presents, her face crumpled. That's when she finally spoke more than a few words at once, telling me how Marcus used to drive her out to see the stars every year. The thought of driving 4 hours into the darkness made my stomach twist. I'd avoided highway driving at night since my own accident years ago, but the longing in her voice made the decision for me. Out there under that impossible sky, with stars scattered like broken glass across black velvet, Emma started really talking. She told me stories about Marcus, about their traditions, about the hole his absence left. I felt my own grief rising to meet hers, this shared loss connecting us in ways I hadn't expected. For the first time, we cried together. The real turning point came at her school's spring showcase. Emma had signed up to play piano, something Marcus had taught her. But when the curtain opened and she saw the empty seat in the front row, where he should have been, she froze completely. Her hands hovered above the keys, trembling. Without planning it, I stood up from the back, walked down the aisle, and whispered close to her ear, "I'm right here, sweetheart," before taking that front row seat. She later told me those were the exact words Marcus always said before her performances. Then everything happened at once. I received an offer for a position I'd dreamed about for a decade, requiring relocation halfway across the country. That same week, we got notice that Marcus's lease wasn't being renewed. I spent one sleepless night weighing options before declining the job and using my savings for a down payment on a small house 3 blocks from Emma's school. Watching her face when I told her we weren't moving, that this was home now, I knew I'd made the right choice. But Marcus's parents appeared without warning, filing for custody with expensive lawyers and claims about blood being thicker than water. Emma overheard them talking in the hallway, calling her damaged, saying I couldn't possibly understand what she needed. She stopped eating, stopped sleeping, convinced she was about to lose everything again. I worked doubles, sold everything valuable I owned, and found a lawyer willing to fight. Standing in that courtroom, saying out loud that Emma was my daughter in every way that mattered, was terrifying and liberating. A year after Emma first walked through my door, my sister was in a serious car accident. The hospital, the machines, the uncertainty brought back the night I lost my own parents. I held it together until I got home, then collapsed. A soft knock interrupted the darkness. Emma appeared with 2 steaming mugs, the same chamomile tea I'd been making her after nightmares for months. She sat on the floor beside my bed, not saying anything at first.